The Super Sunday kicks off at 4 p.m. on Sunday at the Amex, Timothy, or what we call the American Express Stadium, while Brighton hosts Liverpool FC. Liverpool have had a very interesting run, Timothy, this season. It's a team that has tried to ride all the tides. They've had injuries. They've had absentees given to red cards and all. They still find themselves standing tall, team. They've, though, asked for a replay for last week's game against Spurs, which was very, very interesting. That was a scrupulous goal that was chalked off by VAR. Is Klopp right to say what he said?
I think, Tony, there are two things there. The goal, first of all, being ruled out, that for sure we have to blame the VAR officials. But Klopp going an extra mile to ask for a replay, being hard about. So I don't think they will get it. It will not happen. We all know the points are for Tottenham, but now it's about Liverpool and Klopp saying, "Can we kick on again?" That was.
It's not the first to be perhaps had done by VAR.
Yeah, and I think in the last 2 seasons or so, they've benefited more from the VAR decision. So I was shocked.
Used to call them Liverpool.
Exactly.
Very, very interesting. Of course, Liverpool coming into this fixture on the back of a big win in the Europa League against Union Saint-Gilloise. And of course, Brighton also had a game in the Europa League. So both these sides had perhaps to travel, and Brighton having to come back in that particular fixture. They drew 2-2 in midweek. So it will be very interesting to see how both coaches approach this particular game. Liverpool coming into, of course, the game with a couple of issues, the red cards that we saw last week against Tottenham Hotspur. So that means there will be some fresh faces coming into the starting 11. You look at Salah also being drawn off in that particular game in midweek, coming off at around the 60th minute mark. So it means that the coach was already having an eye on Brighton. You look at Ryan Gravenberch, a player who had a very good game as well in that particular fixture. I think perhaps he's starting to knock on the door for the first 11. We've seen he's already involved in 3 goals in like 6 games for Liverpool. He only managed 1 goal for Bayern in his full season. So it will be very interesting to see if Klopp perhaps is looking to freshen up his squad a bit. We've talked about them struggling, coming back from behind in games and finding a way to win. They have a brilliant forward line. Darwin Núñez has been having a bit of form, but last night he missed a very glorious chance there. So he's a player that's very, very interesting to see how he's fitting into that Liverpool forward. For Brighton, they got a humbling last weekend against Aston Villa. How do you recover from that one?
It's a hard
Is
one.
this the game for you to recover?
I mean, if there was a way to say you're recovering, then if you can give the results, the fans a result against a Liverpool side, then that is recovery. But with that humbling, I'm looking at De Zerbi, look at his team, and he could be worried that maybe they could get hurt again by Liverpool. We've said Liverpool doesn't look that strong, but they've been getting the results. But De Zerbi has to look back at the overall team's performance, and I think that team is able to fashion out results. They've had brilliant games, this Brighton side. It's just that if they're to get beaten, they really get beaten, and you ask yourself, is this the team that dismantled Man United a couple of weeks ago that was hurt by Aston Villa? So for me, I think they have to go back to basics. Estopinian, now we know he's injured for
very, very bad news for them.
Yeah, very bad news. So they have to get a deputy there. We know Lamptey can try it, can play once in a while there, but I think their game has been surrounded around Estopinian's movements up front. So Liverpool could look at that team and think that they've got better results from a stronger side. So they could go to the American Stadium and get a result there.
And of course, worst news for them is one of their big defenders in midfielders, Pascal Gross, is also a down for this particular fixture. So it makes them a bit light there in midfield. They got a goal from Fati last time out in the Premier League. Maybe he's a player that hasn't yet hit the ground running, but they will be expecting to get something from him. They have the players up front who really can try, but this is a Liverpool side team that has been ruthless on occasion. Very, very interesting. Salah must be licking his lips after resting a bit in midweek. So this is a game that he'll be looking at and saying, this is the side we can hurt. I think Liverpool will be winning this one more comfortably than anyone else on the weekend. I've gone for 3-0.
I've gone for 3-1.
Very, very big one there for Liverpool fans. Of course, they'll be hoping to keep tabs on the teams ahead of them. Of course, they have 16 points currently so far in the games that they have played. So it will certainly be very, very interesting to see how Klopp runs for this one. After this, we'll be bringing the big one. Arsenal will be taking on Manchester City at the Emirates. Don't go anywhere.